Hello friends, Tanya here for Trinity Stamps, and today I am playing with the new Sweet Shop stamp set and dies. Here is that stamp set. It is adorable, full of a candy shop goodies with a adult bear and a kid bear. Lots of jars of different kinds of candies and coordinating dies for all of the images and all of the sentiments. I love that about the Trinity Stamps stamp sets and die sets. We're going to start out with an A2 sized panel of white cardstock, and I'm going to ink blend with a couple of pinks. I've got some Distress Oxides in Worn Lipstick and Spun Sugar. And I'm discovering that my ink pads are a bit dry. It is winter. Winter does tend to dry things out, especially in my house. And I'm going to just ink blend part of the panel. I do have to do a little more work because I needed to re-ink my ink pads. I had already taken several of these images and colored them with Copic markers with a pink and aqua color scheme, and I'm going to keep that color scheme for this whole trio of cards because yes, I am making 3 cards. I have ink blended a little brown to ground this little shop, and I'm going to spatter the panel with some clean water, and then I am going to sprinkle it with some liquid Pixie dust that I have thinned with a little bit of water also. Next, I'm going to take the Modern Embossed Edges stack, and this is the A2 stack, and I'm going to take it looks like the third to largest and second to largest, and cut a panel from the ink blended background and from some shimmery white cardstock. Next, I'm going to take the Simply Sentimental You stamp set, and I'm going to stamp the word you several times using the 2 colors I used to ink blend. I am going to try to make this a 2-tone word. I am using my cleaning cloth to dab off a little bit of the extra ink on the darker color, which is the Worn Lipstick, and I do have to stamp this several times. Again, re-inking your ink pads is a good thing, and I have done that since I made this video because I don't want to have to stamp so many times. I did end up stamping with the spun sugar over the whole thing to keep it nice and blended. And we have this beautiful soft pink U, and we're going to add some sub-sentiments to this. This is going to be a thank you card, so I am adding thank you so much. And I'm just placing those above and below the word you. And I will take some VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink and ink that up and stamp it on the inside of our card along with the large U. I love how that turned out. That Simply Sentimental line of sentiment stamps and dies is to die for. You are going to want every single one of them. Now I am assembling the card. I have the shimmery white panel that I have put a piece of scrap cardstock behind, and I did the same for this ink blended and spattered panel. We're adhering those to a A2 sized card base, which is also heavyweight white cardstock. And then we have our colored and die cut elements for the seat. I did add a little bit of coaster blank behind each of these pieces to add a little extra dimension and make this a little more fun. I'm lining up that Sweets sign, and that comes complete. That stamp does stamp the sentiment in it also. And I took one of the sentiments from the stamp set and stamped it and die cut that, and I'm putting that along the bottom of our cashier counter, our candy counter. I'm also adding a couple of our jars of candy, and those were trimmed along the bottom so that they fit nicely on that counter. On to card number 2. I'm taking a panel of white cardstock, and we're going to make a Mini-Slimline this time. And I figure out about where I need that ink blending to be, if it's going to be in the center of a panel that layers on that Dainty Scallop Mini-Slimline panel that I'd cut from some peachy, red, orange, pink, corally color. Is that a corally color? You tell me. Anyway, I used our spun sugar and our worn lipstick and did a little bit of ink blending there. And I have 4 of those adorable little candy jars from the stamp set that I have stamped, colored with Copic colors, and die cut. Next, I take the Mini-Slimline Stitched Layers die set, find the one that I want, and die cut that. I love the way the dainty scallops and the stitches go together. Also sprinkling some liquid pixie dust on here. What card is complete without a spattering of liquid pixie dust? And then we're going to layer these up on a Mini-Slimline card base. Almost complete here, and then we're going to add our little candy dishes. And this card came together so fast. I really didn't know what I was going to do with all of my little images. I just wanted to color all of them nicely color coordinated. And if you haven't noticed, when I make a video with several cards, I like the color combinations to be all nicely coordinated. I think it makes everything look better when the grouping of cards is the same color scheme. And it's kind of fun to see different ways you can use the same color scheme. Here we have a lined up grouping of the same size and style of jar with different kinds of candies, and I did use my tea ruler to get those pretty nicely lined up, and again they have coaster blank behind them to help make them stand up nice. I love to use the smaller components from a stamp set, and these were perfect to feature on this card. That sentiment is also from the same stamp set. That completes card number 2, and that's a cutie. And here is our final card. This is going to be a different size than the other 2 also. This is going to be a 4-bar card, but I am starting with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of white cardstock. I'm ink blending this with salvaged patina and tumbled glass, and my tumbled glass really needs to be re-inked also. That is on the to-do list. I did my pinks and purples this week. It's time to do my aquas and my blues next. More spattering with clean clear water, and this is again a little more of the liquid pixie dust. I'm going to use the 4-bar card and envelope builder die set, and we're going to we're going to cut a couple of layers with a blue cardstock and the ink blended panel, and a couple of elements from actually 2 different stamp sets. The gumball machine is from the Sweet Shop stamp set, and the I Choose You is actually from the I Goat You Babe stamp set, which is another winner from this collection. Just layering all of these pieces up together, more coaster blank carefully cut behind each portion of that stamped and colored piece, and then our sentiment, I Choose You. That is so cute. Here it is in the stamp set. I again love that there are coordinating dies for the sentiments in all of these sets also. Now this card did not look quite complete without some extra embellishments. So we have the Tic Tac Jelly Hearts. These are white hearts in 3 different sizes, and I'm using my pickup stick to help me place these on the card front, along with my Barely Art Precision Glue. I'm just going to tack those right onto the card, and that will be our last card. I am having a little trouble getting those hearts to stay exactly where they are intended because they float on the glue. That wraps up the cards for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here's a quick recap of the cards we did create. I'd love it if you left a comment below telling me which of these cards was your favorite. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done that. And if you're interested in any of the products I used today, check that description box below. They're always listed and linked there. And here are a couple more videos we thought you might enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.